Hi guys, it's Trivialator here, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, gaming, but more importantly, we're going to be talking about blockchains and their integration possibilities with gaming. Now, most games are controlled by the developer. They are centralized. So the developer has their game on their servers. They have control of everything within the game and the economy, and that presents us with some vulnerabilities like hacks and downtime and everything like that. Now, when hacks happen, and we know they happen often, the players can lose their in-game data and items, and even though they're not real, they can sometimes cost a real fortune. Now, there is a solution to the centralization of gaming, and that is the blockchain. Now, to look at the history of blockchains and gaming, we don't have to go too far, just back to 2017. It all began with CryptoKitties. Now, CryptoKitties was not the first blockchain game, but it was one that made it mainstream and revealed the potential of this technology to the gaming community. CryptoKitties is a decentralized application made on the Ethereum blockchain. The purpose is similar to Tamagotchi. Players can buy, create, breed, and sell virtual cats. Now, each cat has a set of attributes or cattributes that make it unique, and those can pass on to the future generations within that cat's breed. And of course, the rarer the attributes, the more expensive the cat. Now, really the point of the game is to breed a cat with the rarest features, and these features can make these cats very expensive. Back in 2018, a cat named Dragon sold for $170,000. Now, the technology behind CryptoKitties is actually quite interesting and brings attention to non-fungible tokens. Basically, these tokens are not divisible. They're unique. They're 100% unique, kind of like having a baseball card or a rare stamp or something like that. They're very collectible. Now, they're not used like a currency because they're unique like a stamp. They're basically like having a ownership right that's honed to a digital token that you can have ownership of or sell that ownership to someone else. Now, of course, compared with traditional gaming right now, it's a very niche thing when we talk about blockchain gaming. There's no real AAA studios that are working on this, but really garage enthusiasts. Now, still, even with this being the fact, there are hundreds of developers working on different projects for blockchain gaming. We have lots of different things happening, of course, in the gambling space, but that is not where it ends. There's real-time strategy and fantasy and real-time role-playing. There's lots of things going on within this space, and it is growing. Now, the most popular examples include Decentraland, which is a virtual reality platform, Gods Unchained, a trading card game, My Crypto Heroes, the most popular RPG on Ethereum, and Crypto Space Commander, a casual space MMO. Now, of course, these are relatively smaller titles, but there is rumors that some big name developers are about to get into the game in this space. Now, when it comes to changing things up, one has to ask, what are the big benefits of blockchains in gaming? So one of the most obvious ones for anyone who's played an MMO is true ownership of in-game assets. Just like the goal of cryptocurrency to draw ownership of money back to the people, not the banks, blockchain gaming will bring the true ownership of in-game items to the players. So in reality right now, if you're playing an MMO and you spent years playing it, like say World of Warcraft or something like that, the developer actually owns the in-game items. They can update a patch and things change within your items. They have the ownership and the control. But with the blockchain, the items within the game would truly be yours. So tying assets to players instead of games is a really important thing, and there are some rare variations of in-game items that can cost a fortune. For example, in the MMORPG Europia universe, you can buy spaceships, nightclubs, or even a whole planet. This game holds the record for the most expensive purchase of an in-game item. The planet Calypso was sold for $6 million. Now, what a waste of money, some people might say to the person that bought that, but in reality, it worked out to be quite a cash-generating endeavor, since all of the people who go to that planet within the game have to pay taxes for the land and things like that within it to the owner of the planet. So in the end, they can get that in-game currency and then convert it to real money, and that $6 million might have been the best investment ever. Now, thinking about it, gamers have actually been using in-game currency for a very long time, way longer than even cryptocurrency was around. I remember playing personally EverQuest when I was a teenager and earning those in-game gold and platinum and actually selling it for real cash online. I even sold an item and somebody sent me a check from another country, which I was able to cash as a teenager. So the idea of digital currency has been around for a long time in these games, and that should allow adoption to happen very fast. Now, for developers, this would be a no-brainer. Think about it. We would be able to have the actual game on their standard servers, but all of the items and money and everything like that within the game actually existing on a blockchain. So no more fraudulent items, no more hacking, no more false negatives to control what's happening within the space. You'd have every user knowing what they own, and that would really invest them even more within your title. Another huge advantage is the easy ability for the players within the game to exchange in-game items. They would not actually have to be within game to do this theoretically, depending on how the platform was set up, but it would be a very secure way to exchange things, not just currency, but the actual items in the game themselves. The additional benefit is that the game really becomes owned by the players. So of course, if we have the normal situation right now, if any developer wants to update their title, they will do that, and then suddenly everything will change within the world. But in this type of a setup, we could have almost a voting mechanism, and 51% of the players would have to vote for major changes within the game space. Now, decentralization of games would also add to the security. We would have no single point of access for hackers to attack. And this would add to a lot of fair play. So instead of people having little cheats that are built up over the years that don't get noticed, we would have no cheats work because everything would be on the blockchain. Now, this can also help us really move away from the current most profitable model in the industry, which is to give a game away for free and then have people buy these ridiculous loot boxes, these pay to wins within the game. These games would establish entire economies, and for their creators, that would increase the values of the game itself as the economy within the game grows. What a crazy concept to think about. Now, of course, there are going to be some challenges with implementing this as well. Take, for example, the blockchain trilemma. You have decentralization, scalability, and security, and really, you can just pick two. Now, really, in the end, gaming does not need the blockchain. Blockchain needs gaming. We have a sense here that there is a large-scale improvement to games, especially MMOs, that could come from having the blockchain. But really, the mass adoption of cryptocurrency and blockchains themselves will rely on developers actually seeing that value and executing it. Now, with all this in mind, it's really small developers that will show the larger developers what this is all about and that it can be profitable. And the second that they see that model is more profitable than what they're doing, they're going to move their resources towards it. It's really not a matter of how, but when.